Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. It's Goke Tyro, Comlag C89 Tiger House again. Thank you for joining Naija Commandos for life. It's been a pleasure hosting this show with my co-host, Ifedako Laura 88 Sets. Today we have three distinguished guests from different sets over here to talk about their experience and how command has helped them in their life, in their professional and personal lives over the years, to reflect on that. And out of those three guests, two of them actually were previous presidents of their class. And they will also tell us what they did during their tenures and how they were able to bring value to command as we've evolved. So it's been a pleasure having them over here. We keep evolving and getting different people from different sets to come over. So Ife, take it away.
Guys, thank you again, Mr. Ishmael, Bola, Falake. I want to thank you all for even making time to join us. Again, my name is Ifedako Olowe, 88 at Command Secondary School, Ipaja, Lagos. The ultimate flying house. Yeah, please don't make any comments. That's the best house ever. All right, so we have a very diverse group today, generationally diverse. We have grandpa and we have granddaughter. We have grandpa, we have granddaughter. So it's going to be very interesting because that's the whole purpose of this platform, is to know where we came from as generationally as military schools to where we are right now, even in the so-called middle age of our dinosaur years. So let me introduce our guest. I'll just observe all protocols by starting with Mr. Gbenga Ishmael of 85 Sets, Scorpion House. Bola Ademomire, 89 Sets, Dragon House. And Folake Dada Ajayi, 99 Sets. Probably the youngest we've had on this show so far. She's also from the almighty Flying Nose House. All right, so Mr. Ishmael, we'll start with you with your introduction, if you don't mind.
All right, I feel quite very happy and privileged that you guys have created this platform to speak to the command. I hope, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can.
To speak to the command constituent. And I'm in the 5 shop, but we always have to remember the 82 sets who began the journey. But effectively, why I want to say I'm happy to do this now is because our set, it's 5 sets, and I say this proudly with even the initiatives fellows who started the reason to create an alumni. For us to have this reason. So who am I? I don't even feel I should be on this platform to start the story, because my journey in Ipaja, I want to use the word Ipaja, was very, very, I wonder what was wrong with me when I went through the road that is now a city.
Yep.
So especially if we all go to Ipaja now, we don't recognize it.
Yep.
So when I got to that school, I am really the fear I had then you are today.
Okay, Mr. Ishmael, we'll come back to you, right? We want the other guests to introduce themselves. Then we'll start.
My name is Gbenga Ishmael, C85 Sets personality. Sorry, I do not understand that.
Say your house, please. Your house.
What's the Scorpion House?
Flying House, Oshun House in different ways. Flying House first, Oshun House. No, Oshun House first.
So you Flying House? Oh, I thought it was Scorpion. I'm sorry, that was my bad.
It was Oshun House first, and then Flying House.
Yes, the Flying House, yeah.
And blue color. Blue.
Yeah. Always blue. It's still blue.
They still blue.
Bola.
So apologies for going beyond what I should have been.
No, we're coming back to you. Bola Adegbamire.
Yeah, my name is Bola Adegbamire, class of 89, and I was Dragon House. And Mr. Olawa, if I may correct you, Dragon House happens to be the only house whose color and name has not changed since inception. In actual fact, Flying House is actually no longer blue nor called Flying House. So I was in Dragon House, class of 89, like I already said. Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me on the show today.
All right. The leader of the house, Falake.
My name is Falake Ajayi. I was in 99 sets, Flying House, and obviously the great-grandchild here.
Don't worry. When we bring the 2012 set, we'll remind you. All right. So, Mr. Ishmael, I think we're going to get back to you now. This is the whole idea of this platform. Wanted to share your experiences in command, and how it's actually molded you to who you are today. How it's transformed you. Along the line, we ask some specific questions, but that is the whole premise. That's just a summary of what we want to hear from you. So, Mr. Ishmael.
There are three things you have to remember in any. I was in Nigerian comprehensive school. That's where Nigerian was, and then I was there for 2 years after that. And I left. My father left. I decided that it didn't make sense and took me out. But in the period, I made great friends that are still my friends to today. And of course, I had a brother who was still there. I don't. Of course, you guys have said he was in 7 sets. Those who remember who Rotimi Ismail is. But my Shego Allenson was a brother who we were born together, and he's still my brother and first friend till today. So that one of the things I took away from command remains people I met. And still today with me. I don't want to start calling them until you start asking me.
Can I ask a question? What will you tell your self who came in Form 3? You must have been like 13 years old or 12 at that time. What will you tell yourself at that time on how you should look up to life attending command? And what experiences from that time, that era, will be of value in today? Yes.
So look, I started earlier. I said, look, you know what? You know, a lot of people, and well, from what I figured out is that we can edit this or not edit this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of us underestimate what we experience from going to that channel.
Mm-hmm.
We all do, and I'm one of those people. And what does that mean? Is that I end up in Ipaja, and I use the word Ipaja. Command has taught us a lot of things, and I say from even academically, experience, and then who we are today. And a lot of us who went to that school, and we're fortunate, and I will say to you, and I say it from Falake.
Yes, please.
And I say to you, what I say is that, unfortunately for you, you don't understand what the benefit is of having experienced what we experienced at that time, and from 82 even to the 89 set, which is we have something more than those who left after 89 into the 90s don't understand. What I took is that the people, I said, the military is what I understand. That's what I understand. But I grew up with a father who knew democracy before he was able to tell us what democracy is. So in command, I had people who were great friends, whose parents were in the military and gave us mentorship. So I had my father is not a military person. I don't have anybody in my extended family as a military, but effectively, we understood that that's what they told us to do.
All right. So,
Am I talking too long?
Ask you.
Am I talking too long? Tell me when I'm talking.
Let's ask you something. Maybe in about 5 minutes. Tell us some of your I won't say
what I remember.
No, the
expedition activities.
Yeah, your
your naughty expedition activities while in command in the 80s.
No, you have to change this thing because so you have to know. Are you looking for expo? Or
your rascal times.
I was a faithful student in the commando. Very gentle.
You didn't go to farmer's farm. You didn't sneak out of school. You didn't do any of those things.
So when you say farmer's farm, I don't know anything about it. So, you know what? For me, okay, let me say it's 5 cents. I had a few friends that I still hold and keep who would always say, this person, blah, blah, blah. Are we looking for the people that were getting A1 or the people that were getting into the farm that things didn't work?
Well,
the bad people are the good people.
Well, we want to hear both.
No. You want escapades.
Escapades is interesting. It makes for fun.
What I'll do is that I'll tell you that I was in between. Like I said, I had to pay in the 5 cents where people are. I didn't really chase girls. What I want to tell you is that I want to tell something. So this is a story. Girlfriend's wives. Because I'm going to in command. I only have one story I remember in commando. When I came to command and I left with it. So I came to command in the second year. I call it year 2. And I left the Maryland school. And I came to command. I was telling one of my friends, no, it's not one of my friends. I said that you don't edit this thing. Don't edit it up. Because I'm fighting with him now. And I want you to know I'm fighting with him.
You go cut him short now. We don't want to edit them.
Okay. So anyway, effectively, so I was telling Diary Husoya when 2D at the time. And I told the story to my wife, so that's why I can go public with it. So when I didn't know came to, she was coming around, and I was telling him before she came in, I said, you know what? There's some girl that was with me in Maryland, and she was so beautiful and every effectively. And I don't know, but as we were talking, she now just walked. She was being shown that she was coming to the school, and she just walked in front of the class. And I said to Daddy, that's the girl. So effectively, I stayed in command for 2-3 years. And the story is, the whole point of what I'm telling you is that, so that's why I came back to Nigeria. Because I left command and I was moved from command to England. And I came back to Nigeria because of the command game.
Wow.
You married her?
No, unfortunately not. So if you want to anything, she must give me the right to tell that story. So effectively,
now they call Rush Gone Wild.
That was what?
Crush Gone Wild.
Crush. Thank you. Crush went very wrong.
Yeah.
But at the same time, one of my other experiences, I was a sports person, and in command, I used to play football. I was looking at some one game. I remember the name, Irene Woten. now looked at me. She was in our set. I never forgot her name to them. She now told me the answer. And I now pronounced the name K. And I thought to myself, how the hell can I not remember a letter? KP something and 10. Till today, I've never forgotten that. Till today, I've not forgotten command in the class. So some of those things, you carry yourself and all of those things. But that's in the class. But I remember other things. I don't know if you guys remember it. Going to rehab, carrying water to go and fetch water.
Yep.
You remember that?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did that. We did that too.
I mean, the Falake don't know nothing about that.
I hated all of those things. For me as a person, it was the most horrible thing that I would experience.
I mean, I
enjoyed it.
I don't think anybody enjoyed that part though, that time in commando. Nobody enjoyed it. It was a lot of torture. You have to fetch water, walk, and if you have wicked seniors, they'll send you back to go and fetch for them too. So it was never fun. I think it was abusive.
It kept us righteous.
Mr. Ishmael, we'll come back to you about some other things.
Why are you calling me Mr. Ishmael?
I'm sorry?
Why are you calling me Mr. Ishmael?
Are you not Mr. Ishmael?
Yes, I am. You can call me Benga. I give you the license.
I'm not comfortable with that. Let me just keep it that way.
He doesn't want to frog jump in Atlanta.
I don't want to frog jump. My black time to Lagos. I'm Atlantic Ocean. No, all right, Bola. So, Bola, me and Bola actually shared 2 alumni. We went to one of the best schools. Apart when we left command, which was the best command secondary school in Nigeria. We now went to the best college in Nigeria together. Bola?
You're right, very right.
Yeah.
Great
Please, take it from there, man.
Okay, so, go on, finish. I'll tell you a story about me and Ife.
No, wait. No. Oh, Mr. Ishmael, we don't pass you for now. Maybe Bola speak now.
Ex-President 89 set, please take it away.
Okay, so what would you? Is that question on the floor, or you just?
So tell us about your journey coming in, because you started in Form 3, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So this school you go to before, how you came, what was your first perception of command when you came? How has your experience being in command taking you to the regimental lifestyle, the experience taking you in life today, your experience as the president of the 89 set, the accomplishments you did, even for the 30th anniversary. You rallied around, got that chemistry lab built, always going there to check in on it, sending us videos. That was fantastic, so you, as an ex-president who just left a couple of months ago, and the first president of 89 set, you have laid the foundation for future presidents, to follow. So yeah, take it away.
Okay. So I was in a school called Morimi High School before I came to command. Morimi High School is basically what was conceived basically as the equivalent of ISI or ISL. But then University of Ife was a bit late in starting their own secondary school. At the time that they were starting was when the Second Republic was kicking off. And that was the time that the UPN governments were like, free education. So new schools that were just coming up, the government just refused and took it over. So Moremi is actually inside the university, but actually never belonged to the university, even up till today, even though it's built inside the university. So that was where I was. And I moved to command in 1987. 1987 happens to be a very unique year in Nigeria because that year, the federal government decided to change the calendar from September to July to January to December. So instead of doing 3 terms in a class, except you were in Form 5 at that year or in a federal government school, because they had started, I think by that time they had started the 6334 system. So except you were in Form 5 or in SS3 in a federal government school, every other person did 4 terms in the class. So I actually changed to command in my 4th term from 3. And the only reason why I changed was just that I was the 5th of 5 boys. And I happened to up until that point, to have been the only person who didn't go to a boarding house. I felt cheated. I was like, I wanted that experience. So for me, I mean, that was just the only thing. It had nothing to do with maybe the quality of the school that I was before, but I came to command. I really wanted to. Got to command through, well, I think when we're command, a lot of people would say Tolu Bankole, that she's my cousin, but Tolu's mom and my mom were best of friends. So it was actually through Tolu's parents that I came to command. And when I got to command, I loved it. I always wanted to come to a boarding house. So for me, it was just, okay, finally, I've crossed the border.
You loved it.
You mean you passed through that gate and you are happy?
And you loved it.
Everybody was sad.
What do you do this guy?
No, seriously. I wanted the boarding experience. So for me, it was just, and then again, at the time I got to command, there was no Form 5. They had left the previous term.
No wonder you enjoyed it. That makes sense.
There was just one class. So there was just one class ahead of me. So a lot of the reasons why people would look back and be like, I had a torrid time, blah blah blah. I never had those experiences. I honestly, all through the time that I was in command, I never had a morning duty.
You know what? I think
by the time I came, all I needed to do was just supervise.
Okay.
You came in the enjoyment phase. Because if you are done from 2, in your Dragon House, that means because you're from 3, your Dragon House captain 87 set. Jesus Christ.
No. BC was the one by the time I got there.
Yes. No, he was cool. I knew him busy from primary school.
Yes.
He was something. They called his nickname, his initials was Eba.
Yes.
If you called him Eba, he will almost kill you. No, not almost, he will kill you. You understand? That's why I said Dragon House. A Dragon House was the worst house for seniors that we avoided. Even Kenny Philip, who was here on the last one, talked about how he was always in Tiger House because he just couldn't stand the place. You understand? So when you now say you came in the 4th term, that is why, because that means you didn't dread that gate. That everybody that was there for 1 and 2, when they were dropping you the gate, you are crying. The mental experience was real, especially in the military regime that time.
So I have a question. So Bola,
yes,
you spent a very short time in command. So how did that transform into, your personality today? Because you spend more time in Moremi than command.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think the one thing that command did for me was discipline. Up until today, there are things that I do, and then when people learn that, okay, I went to a military school, they're like, oh, okay,
right.
No.
Exactly.
Coincidentally, I happen to be blessed with a voice that booms. So when I even back out orders, you can probably hear, like the Americans would say, you can hear 5 blocks away when I back out orders.
You were backing at me last week, your last week, you were backing at me too.
It wasn't you. It was the young man who wouldn't let you. No, you were our guest. We wanted you. No, we wanted you on We wanted you on the podium.
Right.
To come, wanted to honor you, and the man had seen you all day. You had been there for about 3 hours. He didn't engage you in the conversation. Immediately, I called you and I said, "If Edako, please come to the." Then he ambushes you in the middle of the hall. I wouldn't let us go on with the stuff. Of course, I had to call him to order. But that's.
I know. I appreciate that, though.
Yeah, that's. So I would say that's the one thing that command probably did to me. That expectation of okay, if you say, let's do it this way, I just assume you will do it that way. So up to today, I still don't understand, where if we say, okay, Goke, like when Goke was calling me today, Goke was calling me at 9:59, but I was already joined because as far as it was 10, I'll be there at 10. So of course when he was calling me, I'm laughing. I'm like, okay, things are forgotten because he hasn't seen me. Guy.
And we've had previous experience of we'll be calling people,
yes.
guy, they forgot.
I set alarms. I set alarms on my phone. I set alarms on my watch so that in case, even if anything happens and I forget, that would. So that's the one thing that Command did for me. I mean, that's the biggest thing that I would say that he did. And obviously, when you go to a boarding house, you tend to learn, or should I say, imbibe a culture of independence in terms of being by yourself, organizing things and all that. So from that perspective, it was awesome for me as far as I was concerned. And like, again, I came basically as a senior, so very, very few bad experiences. Was I a truant? I wouldn't say yes, I wouldn't say no. Like most people, teenagers, I always say that young people always think that they are invisible and indestructible. So I have my own experiences too, where I would say, but I think one of the first things was, we did that term in Form 3, then we came back in Form 4. And when we came back in Form 4, so I think first week, second week, third week, and I turned to them share one day, I'm like, hey, you boys, kinjade be. I'm sure they probably would, I'm sure they probably would remember. They probably would remember, but I was like, when I know they come out, I was like, what? When I know they sneak out, and of course that was, you could say that was the seed. And I think the first time we went out, of course, I mean, like Binga said earlier on, it's the area is now a city. What is now that area? I've forgotten what they call the road now, not the one that actually goes into Ikpaja, but when you come out of school now, you turn left. That actually goes and comes out, all the Meron area. It was just pure, it was just bush. Yes, it was just bush.
Jungle.
Exactly. And we walked through Meron to come out on the road not too far from Ota. In fact, funny enough, before this, I was just joking with a friend, and we would take the Molue. Well, Molue, we take Molue to Oshodi. Then from Oshodi, take LSTC to Eco Hotel roundabout, just because we wanted to go and have pounded yam at a very tight corner on Bishop Maboyade.
Let's go enjoy on your crew. Let's go enjoy one of the bad boys.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I trust him.
No, just the four of us, myself, Koe, Josh, and Banjokes.
Okay.
And then when we finish with the pounded yam, we'll cross over to Adiola Odeko Adema coffee shop, or what is Adema Cafe. I think that was what it was called. Had chicken basket, and then maybe at about past 12, you come out and then buy bread and geisha in front of Adiola Odeko luxury flats. That was what it was called then, and take a drop all the way back into the bush in Ikpaja. So I mean, there were, I think, a few times we went to Penn Cinema to watch some Cynthia Roadrock movies. Okay. I think once or twice we went to Chicken George on Toyin Street. There used to be a Chicken George.
Yeah, there. I remember.
Yeah. Academic wise, Command was wonderful. Good teachers. I honestly have no complaints. Maybe again, not any form of hubris or anything. Maybe because I also didn't struggle academically. I honestly have no recollection of a teacher that I could say, I look at this teacher and I think this teacher was wicked. I honestly have no recollection of any teacher like that.
I did RSM flog you.
Yes, he did. But no, he did. I mean, quite, okay, I'll tell you one story after. Quite a few times. Yes, quite a few times he did. But for me, it was just the fun of being in school. I mean, it wasn't like it was singling. It was what he would have done to any boy. Saw you playing football where you should have been in class, or you guys didn't quickly come to dining hall, and you were one of the people that he held and said, "Last man, you start crawling with your knee on stones." You know, so it was, I think, the one time that he flogged myself and Shea without reason was because during our extension, we had gone, I'm sure on the WhatsApp forum, you've seen that mentioned a few times. So we went to throw banger in the, that's fireworks. Banger. That's what we call it. We went to throw it into the big dining hall. That was where the girls were reading. So they had separated us, girls reading at the dining hall at night, boys reading in class. So we went and threw banger there. And then, of course, it went off. And maybe being a non-infantry man, late Colonel Obidikwe took it quite seriously. Like, you know, in the military school, don't you guys know that could be mistaken for a gunshots? They might think a coup is happening, you know, blah, blah, blah. So they called off for 5 students to the AO's, in front of the AO's house. And it was a case of who did it. I think it was only only Koejo and Banjokes that knew the people who did it. Of course, they were never going to squeal on us. But in the midst of the boys talking and all that, I think it was Koejo who had said to somebody, "Oh, I know the people who did it, but man, we're all just going to take the punishment." And so another the gentleman that he had said it to his hearing, then threatened that he was going to go and tell the AO that Koejo knows the people, but he won't say that he wasn't going to get beaten for what someone else did. So of course, at that point in time, we knew that even if they're called Koejo, he still wouldn't have squealed. He would have been beaten and maybe probably suspended or whatever. So Shaya and I went and owned up to the AO. And of course, we were given maybe 1 week suspension or something. I can't even remember. Maybe just told to go home and call your parents, or 1 week, then come back. So of course, when we came back, of course, they talked to your parents, you know, what they did was blah, blah, blah. And then they go. But RSM never got the chance to flog us. So one night, coming back from prep, he sees myself and Shea. Just, you know, he's coming on his bike, and he just stops by. He's like, "Are you? I know your face." You know the way he goes, "You're a criminal." Oh, yeah. Of course, we didn't do anything, but it was just his chance to give that flogging that he never got the chance to give for throwing the banger. So I think maybe that's probably the only time that I can say I was picked out specifically for any form of punishment. I mean, I got punished quite a few other times, but it was just general stuff. Everybody was getting punished. In terms of C89, I think it was just a bit, when I say happenstance, so to say, Baye, I think it was Baye had come to my office sometime in like 2010 or so, and I just be like, "Bola, we should all get together." And just in the midst of it, we're like, okay, whose number do you have, blah, blah, blah. And then we just started, you know, get people together. I think we had a reunion in 2010 and another one in 2012 or 2011. And then in 2014, I think, we just got together, and as many people as we could reach out to, we reached out to them and decided that we needed to do something for the school. Unlike a lot of people tend to see alumni associations as, permit me to use the word, as a welfare opportunity. I have very strong objections to that. I think the most important thing that an alumni association should do is, first and foremost, give back to the alma mater. Then network between members. And then the extras, like, you know, helping each other out. But it seems like maybe I'm one of the few who thinks that's the way. It seems like with other people,
No, I object at this point, though.
Yeah.
You're allowing Bola to be speaking more of what he's You better go. What he has gone to okay.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
I
here.
like Bola to be speaking more of what he likes or doesn't like. No.
No, for the accomplishment of as ex-president.
No. Start talking now.
Taking over the host job. Okay.
No. I'm objecting, you know.
Okay, protocols. As for me, you are 5 years my sister. Senior, let's hand over to you.
Well, I get.
I can say much more than we have been doing.
Okay. We agree. Protocols. We don't want to friend jump here. Okay. Please introduce yourself.
Stopping me. I shouldn't say that. But I've been talking since about what he likes, doesn't like.
Okay. Folake, please.
Well, you know my name. My name is Folake Ajayi, 99 sets flying on.
Wait. Folake, we haven't started with you. We are just bringing you on now. But I'm telling the compares. That's why I'm saying that. Are you sure this is not 89?
It's not. It's not 89. Oh, yeah, 99 sets. Our little Aburo, the granddaughter.
Your lighting. It's dark in there. We can barely see you.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me put on the light. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So, how can you going to come back and have an opportunity to talk to?
Comment to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
My life in terms of punctuality. Not like I wasn't punctual, right? It helped me more punctual. I wouldn't say discipline because I was disciplined. As in, my dad is a very highly disciplined man.
As a military officer?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know, we're all disciplined at home. So, well, command made me more disciplined. But in terms of punctuality, command gave me that.
Okay.
My experience in command, I really don't have much. Like I told Grandpa Dapo.
Yeah, whatever, man, whatever.
Great Grandpa Benga. Okay, Grandpa Dapo. Okay.
Wow.
I jumped the fence once in command.
Wow.
I didn't even know how I could do that. But you know, the fear of soldiers is the beginning of.
So, we have to go back.
Every
one of you must tell us if you jump the fence. So, Folake, carry on.
Pardon?
Everybody
go ahead.
If they jump the fence.
Oh, okay.
The reason I did that, I was in a hostel at the wrong time because I had an older sister there with the friends. Exam period, nothing to do. So we're all in the hostel. Then when we're not supposed to be in the hostel, soldiers came. And then we all had to jump the fence. I never slept in the guard room. I was never caught for anything. And I had a group of 8 girls. We called ourselves Charisma Girls.
Okay. Interesting.
Take note of Charisma Girls, please.
Each letter had a meaning. C stands for crazy, hard, attractive, intelligent. As in, each letter had a meaning.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Take note of that name, please. Charisma Girls.
I guess we have to find the rest of those girls to bring them on.
Yes.
Yeah. One of the commandant's daughter was one of us then. Akam Eko, because it was Colonel Eko that was the commandant at our own time.
Okay.
That was the AO then.
Okay.
So in terms of fetching water, I had my sister to do that for me. I didn't experience all that.
Oh my God.
Protect me. I had my sister to protect me, and I had some school mothers to protect me with the commandant himself.
Wow. You had a privileged life.
She's one that baller.
How do you move better than balance himself? You had a better life. Nobody had you.
I had a particular immediate senior that for whatsoever reason best known to her, she just didn't like me.
Okay.
She just didn't like me. Her name is I didn't even know if she had she just didn't like me.
I'm just asking.
I don't know why. She just didn't like me. She wanted to punish me at wherever she sees me. You life.
Mm-hmm. Also,
Like
also life.
Also life, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that really helped me out there.
I think
Like, I don't know, maybe happen in your own set, but my set, commandos are very snobbish. Very full of themselves, especially when they're in the midst of like strangers.
After you left command in university. Oh, okay, got you.
Very snobbish. I took that out, but I had to like reshape. So that was not like something I learned. That was a bad
experience. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to like take it out of me because I used to be. I had to take it out.
Mm. That's interesting.
So when it comes to also, maybe you guys will know, she's actually self-employed. She's a very good cook. She has her own cooking.
I cook for a living. So if you find yourself in Canada, Alberta, Edmonton, just give Shibi Agbeke. That's my local name.
Okay.
Yeah. She be hustler. She will cook anything. Shege.
You said the food, Ife. Did she mail it to you from Edmonton to Atlanta?
I tested it on Instagram. It was very nice.
Okay.
Very
Interesting.
Nice. Yeah. It was nice.
Interesting. Okay, so going back to our grandfather from 85 set.
Oh, I gave him that name, grandfather. Okay.
That name is gonna stick.
It was actually one of the questions you asked us. The round table, we have to say where we did. I'm trying to remember what you asked again earlier.
Yeah, so we scaled fence. If you scaled fence.
Scaled fence. There was no real fence during our own time.
There was no fence. Though.
There was no fence. Yeah, there was no fence. I've run into the bush when 87 set became prefects, and they were really beating people like crazy when I was in Form 2. I never snuck out of school, but the one I know I did that was mysterious was in Form 2 and Form 3. They used to carry people's bunks to graveyard and put it on the grave, put their locker, then wear white bed sheets and do Casper and slap them to wake up, and a lot of them collapse when they wake up and find out that in the grave. So that was hilarious, and because of that, I'm a very light sleeper, because when they tried to carry my own bed, I woke up several times, and the way they carried your bed was not fun. If you woke up in the middle of them walking to the graveyard, they would just let the bed drop. So that was one of the mischievous things I did in command. Not proud about it because I think it was wicked, but
are you sure there was no fence?
There was no fence at the back. At that back of Tiger House, there was fence, but it wasn't one fence thing in our own time.
Hey, was it all fenced around?
It wasn't all fenced thing. Yeah, so
was it all fenced?
Yeah, because when we go to Romeo those days, it wasn't fenced thing.
At the back.
The back. Where was the back?
So the back is at the back of Tiger House. When you go through Tiger House, but it wasn't fenced in completely.
So at that point in time, for me, there were farms at that point.
Yeah, there were farms.
Was it a term that you guys used there?
We are using sneaking out. We are not scaling fence, because that back area there was no fence.
Yeah, the back area there was beyond there. So that was where the scale fence was used.
Well, we can call it invisible fence.
Yeah, maybe cocoa pod. That was an experience. If you can get to that cocoa pod, you know what a cocoa pod is?
I know what it is, yeah.
Yeah, but at that point, if you can get it, I wasn't one of those people that would do it all the time. I had friends that would do it many times. Take it, cross over, from there we'll now go to Bashar and do all the things. So for me, it was an experience. Do it, come back and not be caught.
Yeah.
Not be caught was my own issue. Some people were not afraid of being caught, and when the story was be caught, but my own fear was not be caught, and my own adventure was I was not caught.
Well, yeah.
So I can tell my own stories of not being caught. I don't know the number of people that were being caught. I know the people that were caught.
Mm-hmm.
My own set and the 84 set. I call them his first set. They were not his first set in terms of what I know, but they set ahead of me. You know, but we need to move to sports. So the people that don't really remember that were sports people.
I excelled. Yeah, you just said who excelled. I know Command was very good in sports, and a couple of people I know in 88 set even represented the country in the handball and stuff.
I remember.
Yeah, we were very good in sports, and even we did inter-school sports in Lagos State a lot, and I think there was an inter-command sport one time that some of the people went to Ibadan and stuff where different commands came there. So a command in Naija excelled in sports a lot. Back then, I was not really playing that much sports, just pick up football and stuff like that. But yeah, it was pretty, it was good. It was good back then and stuff. So Bola,